CBS 42 weather.
Coming to the CBS 42 Weather Center with an update on our road conditions. Looking a little bit better on 2059 in front of the BJCC. Still seeing a lot of that filtered sunshine, keeping temperatures from getting too far above the freezing mark. We haven't gotten there yet. Take a look at the satellite picture. You can see these clouds still in place, and that's one of the reasons why it's a slow thaw today. Tomorrow will be a little bit better when by this time we should be in the 40s. Only 29 right now at this hour, although Jasper and Fayette have popped up to 31, T-Town's at 32. But we need several hours of this to really melt the ice and snow that fell yesterday. So for the rest of this afternoon, temperatures will kind of stay where they are, drop a little bit once we lose the sun and get down into the mid-20s. We're also expecting more bitter cold temperatures overnight. A hard freeze warning remains in effect from 9 p.m. tonight till 9 a.m. Thursday. Could see some single digits in spots, but the good news, if there is any, about the cold weather tonight is it won't be accompanied by the wind that gave us wind chills at 0 or below. Still a concern for pipes, and definitely bring those pets in. By morning, waking up to 9 in Arley, 10 in Springville, 11 Birmingham, 16 Clanton, and 12 bone-chilling degrees in T-Town. The last bits of the rain continuing to push their way off the East Coast, south of Savannah and near Apalachicola. They're getting some freezing rain. Still seeing the cloud cover for us, but it should begin to break up as high pressure pushes in tomorrow. The high should move all those clouds out and gradually warm our temperatures once it moves off to the east. Then for the weekend, I'm looking at this storm system impacting the West Coast. They have been desperately needing some rain. They're going to get some, and then that will move in our direction. So overnight tonight, 11 degrees, more bitter cold. Again, some concerns about black ice. The winds will be near calm, so that's the good news. We don't have the wind chill to worry about. And then tomorrow, we will finally thaw out. We should get into the low 40s by the afternoon. I think we'll see a lot more bright sunshine as opposed to the filtered sunshine of today. And because of a southeast wind, it'll feel a little bit less dry. As soon as you step outside, that's the one thing that almost takes your breath away. Not just the cold, but how dry that air is. So as we take a look at the forecast for tomorrow, high 42, Friday, high 53 with partly cloudy skies, but then that Pacific storm system starts to move in our direction, giving us a decent chance of rain by Saturday afternoon on into Saturday evening. But look at this, near spring-like temperatures, 62 on Saturday, heading into the low 60s on Sunday, which is also Groundhog Day. We could be in for several periods of wet weather through the early part of next week. We're about to join Governor Robert Bentley. He's going to give us an update on what's going on across the state, the road conditions, and when things are going to improve. Here now is Governor Robert Bentley.
On Monday night or Monday afternoon, I declared a state of emergency for the state of Alabama for the impending severe snow and ice event that has taken place. That was to take place yesterday morning at 6 o'clock. No one knew exactly where the line of freezing rain and snow would take place. Unfortunately, the predictions were not exactly what we thought they would be. No one has any control over that except the Lord. So we just have to adjust as difficult times arise. Unfortunately, most of the snow and ice occurred in the most populous areas of the state along the I-20 corridor, and because of that, we have had a lot more difficulties. We prepared mainly because of the predictions. We prepared mainly for the central and the southern part of the state, and so because of that, we had to make adjustments and bring much of our equipment north to take care of what has taken place here in the Birmingham metropolitan area. Today I flew up, or this afternoon, in a Black Hawk helicopter belonging to our National Guard. I did not want to use any of the helicopters that we were using overnight to do rescues, so I waited until one was available that was not used for that purpose. I was able to fly over all of the areas that are involved. There are 4 or 5 areas on our interstates that are still treacherous. The traffic is still proceeding very slowly, but we are making progress. When I declared a state of emergency day before yesterday, that put in place all of our resources in the state so that we could respond to any emergency that takes place. Unfortunately, what happens is nothing happens quickly enough. And we are making progress, though. One of the things that I'm proudest of, I'm so proud of the way our school systems have handled that situation where our children have been stranded in schools. And as I said yesterday, if you trust your teacher during the daytime, you ought to trust your teacher at night. That's exactly what they did. I visited Glen Iris School this afternoon. There were a number of students still there. We still have a number of students around the state that could potentially have to remain in school tonight, but they will be taken care of, they will be protected, they will be fed, they will stay warm. One of the things that has happened that we need to be thankful for is the fact that our power has stayed on. We have lost very little power in the state, not only in this area, but also in the southern part of the state. We have lost power. In Mobile, it has been restored. We've lost power in the Dothan area. Most of that has also been restored, and now there are very few homes without power. So that is a blessing. We need to be thankful for that. The highway situation can still be somewhat treacherous. We still need to encourage people to stay off of the roads. But you know, we are going to get through this. Today, the temperature has not gotten out of above freezing, and it certainly will not. It'll get colder here in a few minutes. Tomorrow, hopefully, the temperature will rise above freezing, and the snow and ice will begin to melt. The roads are being cleared. We have all resources out there at the present time that we have available from the state. When I declare a state of emergency, it puts all of those in place. Our local EMA, our local first responders have done an excellent job. People have taken care of each other, and that's what we do so well in this state. We have snow angels out there who have gone around and helped people who are stranded in their automobiles, and I want to thank them for that. Because I'm so proud of the people of Alabama, we respond to each other and we take care of each other. We are going to continue to work with all of our resources. We're going to continue to, on the difficult areas that I flew over today of the interstates, we're going to continue to move vehicles if necessary. And we also will help any stranded motorist. We have our Department of Transportation represented here today by John Cooper, who is our Commissioner, is our Director of Department of Transportation. We have Art Faulkner, who is my Director of EMA. And we have so many of our resources here with us, and they're all going to continue to work very hard to get our roads clear. The safety of our people is the most important thing that we're concerned about. So that's what we need to make sure that we take care of today. And we'll move cars so that the traffic can continue to flow. Then we'll worry about removing the cars on the side of the road after we make sure that all of our people are safe. Art, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, sir, Governor. Thank you. Just to update you on some of the things that has taken place today, as the governor stated very early this morning, we not only had search aircraft in the air that was able to get to some of these pockets of motorists that were on the highways, but also we had the Alabama National Guard. All of our state resources were four-wheel drive vehicles, and even one of the state's helicopters that was converted into a rescue helicopter that had a medic on that if needed. Fortunately, what we found was what I believe is really good news, and that was that we did not have to rescue anyone off of the interstate with those aircraft. In several instances, they sat down in the median, and those pilots and those on the aircraft checked those vehicles one by one, and fortunately found no one in them. That was sort of culminated by a night-long effort by all of the first responders in this area, locals and state, to get whatever means necessary out to get these people out of these vehicles. In some cases, they were able to get buses out there. We sheltered somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 people last night, besides all of those people that, as the governor talked about, someone with a four-wheel drive or an ATV or something got out there and got them. One of the things that I think is important to note is that as we move forward and as life safety, the priority is we know that everyone is safe. Then the second one is to be able to stabilize the incident, to get the roads open, to make sure that all of these vehicles that people had to abandon yesterday, that they are still out there and safe, and that we don't have anyone that's worried about what they have, their vehicles or their property. So the governor has authorized the Alabama National Guard and these other law enforcement officers, which are working 12-hour shifts, that they will continue to patrol the areas of this state where those motorists may continue to be stranded until we get those vehicles off of the roadway. And that brings us to what the citizens need to do. Number one, we've seen that citizens have taken the heed to try to stay in today and not hamper the efforts of these first responders in dealing with those that could possibly still be stranded. But as the sun does come out and as temperatures tomorrow begin to warm above freezing, we will be looking at removing these vehicles from the roadway. So that's going to require people to be very cautious of individuals that may be going out there to try to get those vehicles. We know that some of them are out of gas, and that there may be individuals that try to get out there and get enough gas in them to get them out of the roadways. And so people just need to be mindful, number one, of safety. Motorists need to still proceed with caution in areas that are congested. The Alabama Department of Transportation has put signage in a lot of those areas, but it's not going to be a situation, at least for the next several days, to where the interstate traffic and the major thoroughfares, as well as many of these city streets that we've seen in metropolitan Birmingham, are going to be completely cleared of vehicles. And so safety first, and we just need to be patient to be able to get through this as we get in a situation where we can go from the response mode into the recovery over the next few days. Governor?
Yeah, thanks, Art. Any questions?
Governor, I asked the mayor of Birmingham earlier today about perhaps residents should consider taking with them at all times some sort of a safety kit or a pack with snacks, blankets, water, things like that, so if they ever do become stranded again, they do what people in some northern states do. Would you recommend that so that they can take care of themselves a little bit better in the event that this massive event happens and they get stranded people?
Well, I think that's always a good idea, and I think that people should be prepared, and we talk about preparation all the time. Unfortunately, we all become complacent and we become forgetful, and this happened very quickly. This front moved in very quickly on all of us here, and so it's difficult to always prepare for things like this. But people should be prepared. We talk about this every year. We talk about it related to our tornadoes. We talk about it related to hurricanes. We don't have these types of snow and ice events very often. But certainly in the wintertime, you should have something, I think, in your vehicle. If your car just broke down somewhere, you need to be prepared to take care of yourself.
Do you have any idea how much this might be costing the state, Governor?
No, and we're not worried about that right now. Honestly, we do worry about money, but we're worrying about lives right now. We're worried about making sure everybody's safe. And so we're going to do what is necessary to take care of the people of the state.
Governor, we received a lot of phone calls in the newsroom. People concerned. Their bosses are forcing them to come to work, saying they may lose their jobs if they don't show up today. What would you say to those employers and the employees in this situation?
Well, I hope that employers care about the safety of their employees. And I know from a state standpoint, we're going to be very careful, and we may postpone even tomorrow when the state will be able to open up in Montgomery and across the state. hopefully employers care about their employees and realize that if they live on a street that's frozen, you know, they just can't drive on it. We don't want someone having an accident and being hurt. And hopefully they don't want that either.
Anything else?
Just your assessment of everything you've seen so far. As you take those flights, what have you seen? What's your assessment of the response that you've seen?
I think the response has been very good. You know, it never is fast enough in any situation, simply because we can't change what's there right now with all the ice and the snow and the, you know, we can't melt it quickly enough. But we declared a state of emergency preparing for this. We did not know where it would take place. We really did not. But that's why we declared a state of emergency for the entire state of Alabama. We at first thought about declaring a state of emergency for only the southern part of the state. And I said, no, let's do it for the entire state because we don't know where it's going to hit. And so by putting into place all of our resources like we did, we responded as quickly as we possibly could. And you know, we have very good first responders in Alabama. I'm very proud of them. I think they do a great job. Our Department of Transportation, our Department of Public Safety, all of the people under public safety, all of our resource officers, they do a great job. And our local first responders in the cities, they've done a good job. And I'd like to say, people looking after their neighbors have done a great job. And that always makes me the proudest, is when you have people that just go out and just pick people up and just help them. Alabamians do that, and I'm very proud of them.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Governor.
All right, that was Governor Robert Bentley along with the EMA Director Art Faulkner giving us an update on what's going on across the state. You're looking live at a picture of I-5920, or rather I-2059 in front of the BJCC. The governor said he surveyed the area over with a Black Hawk helicopter. He definitely is proud of the way that the teachers and the first responders have been taking care of things in the wake of this snow. He also credits, of course, neighbors helping neighbors and what he calls the snow angels, people who have just helped each other. EMA Director Faulkner just reminded everybody that the National Guard will continue to patrol the areas where cars were left abandoned, and he advises everyone to be careful when the folks try to go back to get those cars once the thawing begins tomorrow, because we haven't seen much thawing today. In fact, temperatures, well, they have not risen above the freezing mark for a good part of central Alabama. 29 here in Birmingham. That's the warmest that we've seen. Tuscaloosa at 32, but that's just within the last hour. And once we get to the next hour or so, I think those temperatures will continue to drop. In fact, tonight, a hard freeze warning is in effect because we will see temperatures drop down close to single digits. So that's going to be a concern. The best thing we can say is that we won't have the wind like we did last night and early this morning that gave us those 0 and below wind chills. We'll have a complete wrap up on what the governor stressed as far as what else is going on across the state on CBS 42 News at 5 o'clock. You can also get updates at CBS42.com. We now return to Jeopardy!
This has been a CBS 42 Severe Weather Update.